What to say to you now in the soft afternoon.
We're in an age where the liberal tendency to be seen as a decent person is to repost.
Where is your fire?
My actual hardship and pain that is stemmed from slavery and capitalism and mass incarceration.
Like wherever I go, I'm a black woman, and that's all I will ever be.
What's your name, ma'am? Your face right now.
Because that's what people are missing. They're missing our perspective.
Rhythms and they jazz. The fight of sit-ins and marches that made us jump boundaries and barriers.
My name is Kamari. I use any pronouns, and I'm from Richmond, Virginia, born and raised.
Can you tell me about your childhood and growing up in Richmond?
I come from a low-income family, and so I went to RPS schools. Most people in RPS schools come from low-income families. It's just a low-income school district, basically. But because of that, we had really strong community, and we had really strong bonds with each other. Like, the teachers really all cared about us, you know, my peers to a certain extent, obviously. But we really all cared about each other, and we had a strong community. And I have always really loved that about Richmond, because Richmond is 50% black. Like, that's all over the city. You know, VCU is not like that. VCU is isolating. That's the best way that I could describe it, especially because I'm from here. I thought that I wouldn't have that problem. Like, I'm used to being in Richmond, always been in Richmond, but when you come to VCU, it's a completely different environment. It's so cold, and it's not supportive of black people. And I feel like people are always looking for me to make a mistake.
Would you say this is a reason why you started Catch the Fire?
Yes. I started Catch the Fire VCU because of all of the problems that I faced during my life. Like, I've been victimized so many different ways because of my class and because of my race, because of my gender, because of my sexual orientation. Like, all of these things have came together, and they have just shown me how big the equity problems are in our country. And I have a hard time sitting by and watching other people suffer. Like, it's not really about my own suffering. It's not that I don't necessarily care, but I definitely care more about other people's. I don't like seeing people sleeping outside. I don't like seeing children not having enough food to eat. I don't like seeing babies who can't have winter coats. Like, I think that's not something crazy. I think that's not profound shit. I think everybody should feel like that. Like, you should care about other human beings the way that you care about yourself. But because of capitalism creating this individualistic society, people don't care about each other. VCU doesn't care about us.
How do they show that they don't care?
With the Massey case, with the problems that I face in the dorm, like, time and time again, VCU has taken the emotions and the words of a white woman over my actual hardship and pain that is stemmed from slavery and capitalism and mass incarceration, things that they know black people, especially black Richmonders, are dealing with, and they still don't care to support us when we come to the school. They still let us fall victim to Karen attacks. And when you try and confront them about it, they say, well, there's not really that much we can do. You got to deal with it.
Because you have a 50% black population, being that this is Richmond, you think they'd have ways that are to combat these things, to address these issues.
Yes, because if you're going to take my black money, then you have to be willing to support my black life. Like, if you're going to email me 10, 15 times a week because I haven't paid you your $1,006, then why can't you respond to my emails that I send 10 to 15 times a week about being victimized by your staff members, by white Richmonders? Is it because I don't have money? Is that why my opinion and my voice doesn't matter? Because I could have sworn VCU said that this was an environment for everyone. This was an open environment. They welcome all people. They love all people.
I would definitely say that obviously this is just an answer that you didn't ask for, but I feel like it definitely has to do with your identity, all parts of it.
Yeah.
You being a woman while also being on the LGBT spectrum, while also being black, while also not looking like the typical woman.
Yeah.
With the short hair and dyed hair, being tall,
I
and just
definitely-
having a deeper voice.
Yes.
Like, do you feel like all these are used against you in ways sometimes, especially at this school, being in Richmond, or even with just being around other people?
Yes. In my life in general, like I said earlier, I've been victimized in so many different ways, like countless ways. And it's because of the way that I present to the world. Like, people don't see my heart and my soul. They don't see how much I care for other people. The members in Catch the Fire VCU see that. People who come to my pop-up shops, they see that. My friends that know me personally, they see that. My family, they see that. But when people see me, they just see the piercings and the dyed hair. They see the strong shoulders, the strong features, the deep voice. They're intimidated by me. But that's because they don't know my heart. And they don't care to. But that's okay, because I'm not doing the work that I do for them. I'm doing the work that I do so that other people can be okay. Because I'm tired of seeing other people suffer. Like, it's really disgusting to me when I see other people just straight not care about somebody that's right in front of you.
Do you think like empathy exists anymore?
No, I think capitalism destroyed any sense of empathy that we had. Like, we've been living in a capitalist economy for so long. It just ruined us. Like, it's really sad because I've seen it firsthand. Like I said, I grew up poor. My mom, she had me really young, and I love my mom, but we definitely struggled. We struggled because she had me young and because we are black. So people had that extra layer of no sympathy for her because she had a baby young and she was black. People didn't care that I was a child who didn't have access to certain things because they think that my mom created those circumstances and she should deal with it. That's sick.
Are there other examples in your life too?
Yes, I remember going to school before they started giving all students free lunch. Have you ever, I don't know if everybody or every school district does this, but when you didn't have money to pay for lunch, then they would, at first they used to just take your lunch and you wouldn't be able to eat. But then they started to take your lunch and you would have to eat like a dry cheese sandwich. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Food is food. But to do that to a child, somebody that's under 10 years old, because they can't afford to pay for a meal. You're going to take a meal from a child who can't work a job. That's really sick. And people say that things like that are okay because of capitalism. That's just the world. You have to have money. Money makes the world go round. That's not right.
It's not.
That shit is not right.
Or gladiators or something.
Yes, like, are we fighting? Like, are we competing? Are we about to get in the Thunderdome?
Yeah, we are competing.
Yes.
But are we winning? No.
No, we're not winning. Like, only 1% of the population is winning. Like, me, all my friends and family, we're suffering, struggling for years and years and years. Every day there are white people being born into rich families who will never experience the same shit that I did as a child.
Probably never even engage with black people.
Who will never even engage with black people.
Formative years either.
Yes. And they're content with that. They're content with knowing that there are people like me suffering and struggling to make money to survive while they eat $1,000 dinners and drive cars that cost millions of dollars. Like, is that not wrong?
It is wrong. I find that funny too, because it's just like they're content with it how we are, but we're not content with their shit. So it's like that double-edged sword, I feel like.
Yes, exactly. It really is a double-edged, because and it's funny to me too, because they'll say, well, why aren't you content? We're doing all right. What's your problem? I'm just like, nigga, like, if you had to live like this, you wouldn't be content. Like, I don't think people see just the extent. I might look like a bad bitch, you know. I look clean and happy and all of this. These people don't know how much I fucking struggled to get here. I'm not even 20 yet, and I have already experienced more trauma than white people who are like 50 and 60 years old. All because my family doesn't have money? Do they really care that little about black children to let them suffer like that? Mass incarceration, the fucking crack epidemic, just countless examples of how the government does not care about black children. They'll do anything to divide our community, anything to ensure that we suffer.
In a way, they are divided. They are definitely.
It's just like, yes, it's just like what you said, like the way that black men feel like they have to compete with us.
No other race does that.
No other race does that. Black men feel like they have to compete with us because white people said only only the strongest survive. Like, what?
Why can't we just
love each other?
love each other? Yeah. Really love each other.
Because I love you. Yes, exactly. Yes, I know you. Like, we love each other. I love all black people. I love black men. They be doing fucked up. Yeah, they be doing fucked up shit. Even though they don't love us, they be doing fucked up shit. Just like the dude at the sign telling us to shut the fuck up.
Bitch.
Shut the fuck up, bitch.
Yeah, don't forget the bitch. That was very important.
Shut the fuck up, bitch. So his white friends can laugh.
Don't forget the
Like,
other dude that came up either.
black men, even black men who victimized me, I still have love for them because that's the heart that black women have. We have been battered and beaten down, but we still love. We still spread that love.
That we ain't women.
We've been told that we shit. I know you didn't experience it. I didn't definitely experience. I'm 5'8", y'all, and I've always been a fucking giant. That's my fucking mother. I was born a fucking giant. I'm black. I have a loud ass, booming ass laugh. I have a deep ass voice, like I have some fucking bass. Like, I have broad ass, strong ass shoulders. Yeah, like I'm a masculine bitch. I'm okay with admitting that. I don't really care about the gender binary anyway. Like, I'm a masculine bitch, but that's why people are intimidated by me. Like, it intimidates people that I can speak on these issues, and black men and white people, they're intimidated by that. But that doesn't affect me because, like I said, I'm not doing that work for people who aren't going to listen to me anyway. I'm doing that work so people can be okay.
Yeah, and what, how? Like, what do you do? What are some ways that we can do the work?
Okay. I would say the main idea is just to find a problem and come up with a solution. Like, it can be a problem small, big, medium, it don't matter. Any problem that you see people are facing, and you see there's a large amount of people facing it, come up with a solution. Get a couple of people together, come up with a solution. Don't elect somebody into an office and bring the idea to them, because they're gonna disappoint you. Every fucking time. Like they've been disappointing us for 400 years. They're gonna disappoint you again. They're not gonna solve the problem. For example, a lot of black people in Richmond, like, this was a problem while I was in high school. This was a problem while I was growing up. But mass incarceration is a big problem all over the country. And Richmond City Jail itself is overcrowded because of that. So they have to take people from Richmond City Jail and move them all around the state because it's that overcrowded. It's that many people coming in and out of Richmond City Jail. Families are being broken up because of mass incarceration in Richmond. And there are so many people who are there that don't deserve to be there or who have been there for way too long.
I know you have some personal experience
Yes.
with the incarceration system.
Yes.
Can you walk me through your experience being on that, what you felt when you had to deal with it?
I have had, and I won't name them, for their privacy, that's their business, but I have more than one relative who has been in Richmond City Jail and past that just in the Virginia State prison system. And it's sad because when you have to, people don't understand. They're like, okay, well, you're in jail. You deserve to be there. You committed a crime. Sorry. I don't care. Like, nobody cares about incarcerated people, but that's not right. Because when you actually realize that those are real people in there who have families and friends and hopes and dreams, and instead of living their life, they have to waste away in a prison. They are locked up for 10 years.
Sometimes solitary.
In solitary confinement, while people they love die, and they can't go to their funerals. While people, their girlfriends, their wives, they have children that they haven't been able to meet in person.
And these are from like non-violent crimes, right?
And these are from non-violent crimes, like non-violent crimes, mostly about theft.
Which is really ironic.
Because it stemmed from capitalism. Like,
Because we don't have enough.
yes, people wouldn't commit crimes, and people wouldn't commit crimes if they didn't have to live in a capitalist economy.
It's about access and proximity.
It's about access and proximity, exactly. Like, they wouldn't have to do such ugly things if they would just give us the resources that we need. People always talking about, oh, Richmond, I'm not going down there. They have a lot of problems with murder, homicides, all of this. No, I can't, that's black people in the inner city. That's why I don't. Do y'all realize that nobody wants to do this? Nobody wants to risk their life or risk not seeing their mother before they die or risk not meeting their child when they're born. They wouldn't do shit like that if they didn't have to. If the government would just give us access to our basic needs like food, shelter, and water.
Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If your basic needs cannot met, you cannot excel. You cannot advance. You will forever be stuck in a cycle. And that's psychology based.
Yes. And they know that because they conducted those studies. But they act like black people are stupid for trying to go against these systems that they put in place to keep us down. Okay, so then we're going to commit crimes because it's the only way I could get ahead.
The same system we were enslaved under.
The same system we were enslaved under. Mass incarceration, we still enslaved under. Mass incarceration is slavery.
13th Amendment.
13th Amendment. Mass incarceration is slavery. Everybody who is an incarcerated person, they are treated like they are subhuman. The stories that I've heard from my relatives about solitary confinement, people stay in a room, small, almost maybe like a little bit bigger than a closet. And they stay in there for months. And they receive the same bland meal every day. They interact with no one every day. And that's just if you're in, for a couple of years. Now, can you imagine if you're in there for life and you're going to be put in solitary confinement and you're basically going to be forgotten about? And there have been many black scholars, white scholars too, who have conducted the psychological effects of solitary confinement. And people have found that it it literally can drive you insane. It causes delusions. It causes psychotic breaks.
Nobody's supposed to be locked up in a cage.
Nobody.
Not even, you don't even do that to animals. Like, people get a lot of shit for even locking their animals in cages.
But you would do that to a person.
Yeah.
Because they're black. And because they're black, you don't care.
Because they committed a crime that is described by this fucking government. Everything is a fucking crime being black. Fuck.
They wouldn't have to commit the crime if the government would just do what the fuck they said they were gonna do.
Right.
And that's why they hate people like me. Because at the end of the day, my love is gonna conquer their hate. That's what organizers do. Like, organizing is not about getting a bunch of people together to fuck some shit up. Obviously, we can do that. Power to y'all. I love fucking shit up. I love burning shit down. Let's fucking do that. But we can do that in the name of love. Because that's what we doing it for. I'm not fucking shit up because I hate white people. I want white people to burn.
Yeah. You're doing it because you
I love black people. Yes, I'm doing it because I love black people. And I want black people to be taken care of. I could give 2 fucks about white people. They not me. That's not my people. Cool. Do whatever the fuck they do. But expect me to take care of my people. Expect me to go against y'all to make sure my people are okay. Because I'm not going to have kids coming to me, crying to me, I can't, they took my lunch, I can't eat. Like, that's sad. You gonna take food from a baby? It's literally that fucking saying, taking candy from a baby. You gonna take food from a baby because they can't pay? How much was you gonna fucking make off of that meal? 50 cents? You really want a baby to pay you to eat? You gonna let a baby starve because they can't work? And this is a first world country.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. No. First world country with a third world country with a Gucci belt.
Exactly. Like, this is a first world country. We was fucked up from the start.
Yeah. You know, how you were talking about white people in general, how it's not about how you hate white people. I just wanted to elaborate and say that it's not about hating white people. It's not about white people addressing that. I mean, it is about y'all addressing that, but it's about going forward. When black people tell y'all that a white person has done something and that y'all suck, it's not because they're trying to make y'all feel bad. It's because y'all built this system. Now y'all need to address it and destroy it.
Start over, scrap it.
We are just telling y'all what y'all need to take care of, and instead of y'all realizing that, y'all just take it personally.
Exactly.
And just, y'all hate white people and blah, blah, blah. No.
Exactly.
We
My
hate
aunt.
that y'all won't do shit for us.
Exactly. My aunt always told me that white people only respond to 2 things. And it's because they're soulless. I feel like a lot of white people are definitely soulless because they can watch all of this suffering and do nothing about it to preserve themselves.
Whiteness.
Yes. My aunt told me that they only respond to 2 things: money and violence.
You're right.
And I don't got no fucking money. So, y'all want to see my bank account. Like, I don't got no fucking money. So, Catch the Fire VCU only got 1 option. And I don't mean violence as in like, oh, I'm going to go crack a white person in the skull. You know, sometimes I do feel like doing that because of all the bullshit that they have put me through for the full 19 years of my life. But I know that's not going to be counterproductive to what I'm trying to do. So I come up with more creative ways to hurt them. Because things like donation drives, things like the communiversity that we're planning, things like that hurt white people because it shows unification. It shows that we have power amongst ourselves, whether we receive their help or not. Like, the communiversity is going to be a free university where you can take college courses on Black radical tradition and eventually pretty much anything that you are interested in learning about. And you don't have to pay. And you can just come, listen, learn, and leave. Like, I don't think that's a crazy radical idea. I think that education should be accessible.
It should.
I think that basic needs like food, water, and shelter should be accessible. That's why we do donation drives. Like, I think that it's not a matter of waiting for white people to help us, because they're not going to. They've already said for 400 years they're not going to. The civil rights movement was in the 60s. It's about to be 2022. Black people back then didn't even imagine that we would survive this long, and we're still dying out. And it's because white people have not stepped in to intervene. They don't care that we are dying as a result of mass incarceration, the crack epidemic, the military.
So now we need to take matters into our own hands.
So now we take matters into our own hands. If you got the gas, I got the lighter.
Shit. Let's blow it up.
But let's blow it up. Like, at this point, like, you can't even expect Black people to wait.
Right.
Like,
It's like they're playing in our faces.
yes.
Like, that's what they're doing.
Yes, that's exactly what they're doing. They're playing in our face, like, because it's not just me. I'm like this because I was raised this way. I didn't even experience this until maybe I was like 10, until I got to school. But my family raised me to speak out when I see shit that's fucked up. My family told me about all of the fucked up experiences they had as a result of living in a society integrated with white people. My grandfather went to the same high school I did right when it got integrated. My family is from that historically Black neighborhood, Jackson Ward, that's being gentrified right now as we speak. Like, I'm connected to this shit in so many different ways. I was always gonna live in it. I was always gonna be this person. Like, Black woman, we don't have any other choice. We can't separate ourselves from it because we care so much about other people that we just can't watch suffering. Like, I just can't. It honestly breaks my heart. Like, I'm baffled that it doesn't bother people as much as it bothers us.
It should.
It should.
When you see somebody on the street freezing to death, it should really bother you.
Yes,
Even
you shouldn't
if you
look
don't
at it.
acknowledge them, which is fucked up on your part, it should really fuck with your spirit. Because it's not normal to see us suffer. I mean, it is normal to see us suffering, but...
Yeah, it's normalized, but it shouldn't be normal. Like, I've talked to, and throughout my whole life, because I remember I was really young, maybe like 13, 12, like middle school age kid. And I was at a gas station with my uncle. Old wise Black guy, you know, I don't know. But he was this houseless person that came up to his car asking for a cigarette. You know, this is Richmond. In the city, we have a big houselessness crisis. And that's because of VCU in Richmond City. They're worsening it. But he had came up to him and asked him for a cigarette. And I think I had jumped. He scared me or something. And my uncle, he gave him like half a pack of his cigarettes. And he was talking to me about it. And he was like, you have to stop perceiving people the way that white people taught you to. You have to start looking at your fellow human beings as that. Because white people, they dehumanize you, and they teach you that dehumanizing other people is normal. But it's not. And it's honestly really, it's horrible that people could do that. Like, you're dehumanizing other people just because white people feel like that we should. I have more in common with a houseless person than I do Joe Biden. And I know that.
Person in general.
Exactly, or any white person in general. Like, because they know my struggle. They know what it's like to be victimized. And they know what it's like to not have money. They know what it's like to starve because you don't got it. I know what it's like to starve because I don't got it. I know what it's like to have to share every little resource because I could also come from a big family. So anything that we did have, you gotta be split 7 ways. Like, that's bullshit. It honestly is. I've talked to so many houseless people who told me about so many different ways that they have been victimized in their life. How could I not relate to that? Like, how could I not relate to that suffering? I suffered the same exact ways. The only difference between me and a houseless person is probably like, it's VCU.
Yeah, it's the only thing keeping you.
Yeah, it's like, is my college education.
That might even be getting taken away from you.
That people are actively trying to take away from me because they are trying to withhold higher education from poor people. That's ridiculous. So because I come from a single mother, I can't learn and create and build just like everybody else? What kind of bullshit is that? Then like, well, you should just be content working a minimum wage job for the rest of you. I should just be content with suffering for the rest of my life just because of the circumstances that I was born into. Yeah. Like when you really think about it, it doesn't make sense. And it's just fucked up. Like there's no other way to think about it. It's just fucked up. So we're gonna burn it down.
Don't burn.
However long it takes. Communiversity coming soon. Y'all look out for that. Ooh, donation drive too. Protests. Honestly, just look out for Catch the Fire at VCU.
Oh yeah. We are explosive, y'all.
It's not a metaphor, like.
We are gonna spread this fire.
Yes. Because the revolution is coming. Like this is not a cutesy college thing, you know, side hobby. This is something that I've believed in for my entire life, that my entire family believes in. So I'm gonna do it. It's that simple.
You gotta believe in the cause.
You gotta believe in the cause.
Step, y'all. 'Cause a lot of y'all don't.
You gotta believe in the cause, and you gotta believe in yourself. Believe in your own power. I know capitalism has beaten a lot of people down, made them feel like they don't have the ability to be creative. They can't contribute anything meaningful to society. But that's just capitalism. Don't let capitalism tell you what kind of contribution could be meaningful or not. You could contribute so much to the revolution by doing small shit, like planting a fucking tree, watering some fucking grass, passing out water bottles to houseless people,
That's simple.
buying fucking a blanket. Buying a blanket for a houseless person. Stepping up for a black woman when she's being victimized.
Yeah. Didn't think
Like-
you'd have to tell people about that.
Yes. But apparently you do. Like, it's small things, y'all. Please, please, I'm begging you. Because we can't do it by ourselves. Not to say that we are. It's hundreds of organizations doing exactly what the fuck we doing. So know that when you step into the work, you're not alone. You have the support of hundreds of other black people, thousands of other black people.
All you gotta do is do it.
Yes, it's just a matter of doing it. So fucking do that shit. Like I'm tired of fucking waiting for people to do that shit. Fucking do it. Damn, fucking do it. Do it. Do it. Like if you were waiting for a sign, this is your sign. Do it. Don't wait.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is. Unless you white. You might. Exactly. Yeah, then you gotta run it by us first. So y'all be having crazy ass ideas. I don't know. I don't know about full faith in y'all. You kind of had tried that already. Like, but yeah.